All right, today we're going to pull back the curtain on the invisible engine that powers pretty much your entire digital life. We're talking about the secret behind your favorite apps, from how you stream movies to how you order a cab. Let's dive in.
I mean, really think about it for a second. You tap an icon on your phone, and it just works, instantly. Even when millions of other people are doing the exact same thing at the exact same time. How is that possible? Well, it's not magic, but it's pretty close. The secret is an architectural design called microservices.
So, to really get why microservices are such a huge deal, you got to look at how things used to be. On the left, we have what's called a monolith, just one big single block. And on the right, you see microservices, a bunch of smaller interconnected blocks. This isn't just a different look, it's a complete revolution in how we build software.
So let's take a quick trip back in time and talk about the monolith. For a really long time, this was just how you built an application. It was the only way people knew.
Think of a monolith like a giant Jenga tower. Every single piece, the user login, the payment processing, the photo uploads, it's all part of the same single, tightly woven structure. Everything depends on everything else. And, as you can probably guess, that can cause some major headaches.
And yeah, those headaches were huge. Because everything was connected, one tiny bug and a minor feature could bring the entire system crashing down. Want to make an update? Forget it. It was like trying to change the tire on a car while it's speeding down the highway. You couldn't just fix one little thing, you had to shut down and redeploy the whole massive application. It was slow, risky, and super inefficient.
Obviously, that old monolithic way just wasn't going to work for the massive, global scale of the modern internet. Developers needed something better, something more flexible. And that's when microservices entered the picture.
So instead of that one giant Jenga tower, the microservices approach is more like building with Lego bricks. You break the application down into a collection of small, independent services. Each service has exactly one job to do, and it does it really well. It's like having a team of highly trained specialists instead of one person trying to do everything. So you might be wondering, how do all these separate little services work together? Well, they talk to each other using something called APIs. You can think of an API as a waiter in a restaurant. Your user profile service doesn't need to know how the recommendation engine cooks up suggestions. It just sends a request through the API waiter, and the waiter brings back the result. It's super efficient.
Okay, all this theory is great, but let's look at a real-world example pretty much everyone knows and uses: Netflix.
That simple little click you make on your remote, the one to start your show, that one action kicks off an incredible invisible symphony. It's not one giant program doing the work, it's hundreds of tiny specialized services all jumping into action at once. So for instance, one microservice's only job is to check that you are who you say you are. That's the authentication service. A completely separate service is responsible for finding the actual video file and streaming it to your device. Another one, the Watch History service, just keeps track of what you've seen. And of course, a powerful recommendation service is constantly analyzing your data to figure out what you might want to watch next. They're all separate, but they work together perfectly.
Now, this whole system isn't just better for us as users. For the developers who are actually building and maintaining these massive apps, it's an absolute game changer. And here's one of the coolest reasons why. Because each service is its own little self-contained program, different teams can use different programming languages. The team working on payments might use a super secure and robust language like Java, while the team sending you new episode notifications might use Python because it's fast and great for scripting. You get to use the absolute best tool for every single job. So the bottom line is this: teams can update their own little service without breaking anything else. And when a new hit show drops and everyone is searching for it, you only need to scale up the video streaming and recommendation services, not the entire Netflix application. This all leads to faster updates, way more efficiency, and just a better, more reliable product. Of course, it's not all perfect. Nothing ever is, right? When you break one big, simple system into hundreds of tiny moving parts, you introduce a whole new kind of complexity. All of a sudden, instead of watching over one big application, you have to manage hundreds of them. It's like going from herding one big elephant to trying to herd hundreds of cats. You have to make sure they can all talk to each other correctly and instantly know if one of them goes down. But don't worry, the tech world has built some incredible tools to handle this. Tools like Docker package up each service into a neat little box called a container. And then, tools like Kubernetes act as the orchestra conductor, telling all those containers where to go, what to do, and making sure the entire symphony plays in perfect harmony. So, what's the big picture here? What does this all mean for the future of technology? Well, it means we're moving away from rigid, clunky systems and toward a future that's flexible, adaptable, and modular.
When you boil it all down, this is the magic formula. Microservices give you the scalability to support millions or even billions of users. They give you the speed to constantly update and improve, and they give teams the independence they need for real innovation.
And make no mistake, this is not some far-off future concept. It is here, right now. The app you use to order food, the site where you do your banking, the platform you use for work. Chances are, it's all built on this incredible microservices architecture.
And that leaves us with one last really exciting thought. This architecture has basically unlocked a level of scale we could only dream of a decade ago. The technical barriers are falling away. So the question is no longer can we build something that can reach the entire planet, but what incredible, amazing things are we going to build next?